4 losses in a row for Manchester City. Arsenal just not looking their best, getting a few wins here and there, but dropping points to Newcastle. Chelsea unable to score versus Inter and dropping points at home to Liverpool, although I do think a point is a good result in that game for both teams. And it's been quite nice to see Arsenal falling off, particularly Manchester City, because 4 losses in a row for them. But I cannot enjoy it properly because of this man, Liverpool manager Arne Slot. Pure evil. 15 wins in 17 matches, 5 points clear. Liverpool are on top of the world right now. So as much as I want to enjoy Man City's downfall, Arsenal dropping points, I can't, because Liverpool are top of the Premier League, 15 wins in 17 matches. It is evil from Arne Slot, because the rest of the Premier League is just not looking at it. I think Chelsea, on the eye, have been the second best team after Liverpool. I think Chelsea look better than Arsenal and City, and there's only a couple of points between them. I think City were lucky to get a result versus Southampton and Wolves right at the bottom of the table. Generally, I don't think City were good versus them. And the worst thing about it is, Liverpool deserve to be top. I feel like that's the most annoying thing about it. Chelsea's stats are very similar to Man City's up there, as you can see, and I think Chelsea have looked second best on the eye. It's just like Liverpool are top. They deserve to be top because they have looked the best. And that's the most annoying thing. And if you look at XG4, only Barcelona across the top 5 leagues has more XG4 than Liverpool. Spurs closely follow in second. If you look at XG against, only Inter beat them in terms of defensive statistics, showing that they have been very good going forward, very good defensively. I mean, they've been immense defensively. I think that's, Konate and Van Dijk's been one of their biggest strengths. And it is so frustrating. So I saw this on Twitter, and this is a Feyenoord fan talking about Arne Slot and what Liverpool can expect. And I thought this was particularly interesting because I want to touch upon Liverpool's January window, what Slot's doing at Liverpool so far, the current strategy, because I do think Liverpool are going to invest in January, considering Slot got no investment in the summer, and Slot obviously has a good record when it comes to investment. So this was said by a Feyenoord fan on a thread. I think build-up patterns look very much alike. The goalkeeper holding onto the ball, then playing to the 6, who plays it to the left back, right back, then going into overdrive from there. Personally, I think Slot wants more midfield control, like Feyenoord had on a lower level. I am almost sure a ball-playing 6 like Zubemendi was the first player he asked for. Wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool is still in for him. Proper alternative is Frankie de Jong. Would also be perfect for his style of play. Knowing Slot, he's going to look to replace at least 3 or 4 players already. He is good at playing the players he inherited, but his best quality is building a new team. He is ruthless and has no problem shipping away fan favourites. If Liverpool fans think they are playing great now, they should be totally excited for next season. So this is said by a Feyenoord fan on Arne Slot. He's very good at coming in and getting the best out of the players he's given, and that's what he's done so well at Liverpool. I think the reason Liverpool appointed him is not just because he's a manager that's good at getting the best out of the players he's given, but if you look at Slot's style of play and you look at Klopp's style of play, there's a lot more similarities than maybe Amram would have, but even Xabi Alonso would have in terms of system and setup. Slot and Klopp had a lot more similarities, and he is a manager known for doing well when he inherits players, getting the best out of them. We've seen Gravenberch become a new player in this number 6 role. We've seen Gakpo look quite good when he's played, but Luis Diaz has obviously been the standout out of the wingers. I mean, Salah's always been a good player, fantastic under Klopp, but Salah looks better than he did last season. Konate staying fit and looks better than he did last season. So let's dive more into Liverpool's squad and what he inherited. So he had Alisson, the best probably keeper in the world, I'd say, or at least top 3. Kelleher's probably arguably the best second keeper in the world as well, so he's quite sorted there despite Alisson's injury. Trent is the best right back in the league. Real Madrid want him. You know what you get with Trent, who has improved massively defensively this season. I think his offensive numbers have gone down a bit, but I think his defensive ability's got better. Konate and Virgil van Dijk, the stats prove it. They have been the best centre-back pairing in the league. We spoke a lot about Saliba and Gabriel last season, but this season it has been Konate and Van Dijk. They've both been absolutely fantastic, absolute monsters, 1v1 defending, winning it in the box, channel defending a lot. Robertson is not as good as he used to be, but there's still a solid player there. I think Tsimikas has stepped up quite well. I think Tsimikas' delivery from corners always impresses me. But Robertson is probably one that he will look to replace that left-back position. I think you might look for another centre-back just because of fitness issues, because he's not taken a big liking to Kwanzaa. And obviously Joe Gomez is always a good option to fill in. Gravenberch's been fantastic, probably been Liverpool's player of the season so far this season, adapted really well to the 6th position under Arne Slot. And I knew he was a player, and I said this last year, I said this back in April, I said Gravenberch is a player I expect Arne Slot to take a liking to due to his Ajax academy, the technical ability, he got that Ajax education. He's going to really like that, not because it's Dutch, but because it's technical. When we talk about Zubemendi, Frankie de Jong, technical. McAllister was Liverpool's player of the season last year, a midfielder that's good on the ball, good athletically. I don't think he's been at his best this season, but there's a good player there. I actually want to see him maybe in the 10 role, Gravenberch in the 8 role, and Zubemendi in the 6 role. That could be lethal. Curtis Jones has been fantastic since returning from injury and brilliant for Liverpool as well. I think Harvey Elliott will be an interesting player to see in the 10 role. I think, again, there's a good talent there that I think Slot could utilise a lot. Mo Salah, probably been the best player in the league, or top 3 players in the league so far this season, been immense on the right-hand side. Diaz has been the best left winger in the league so far this season, been fantastic on the left-hand side, real energy about him. And Darwin Núñez is growing. He might be one that he looks to replace if he cannot find his goal-scoring form. Not always the most clinical, but he's growing. Connor Bradley, Elliott, Kwanzaa, Szoboszlai, Gakpo, Shota, Alisson, among names not in that starting 11. He did inherit a good squad. I think as good as Slot has done with Liverpool, with very little investment, only Chiesa, who's essentially been injured, he did inherit a very good squad. But he has also done a very good job to make sure he's getting that very good squad to play well and get the best out of them. The players he's massively improved, in my opinion, have been Diaz and Gravenberch, particularly Gravenberch, because we didn't see the best of him under Slot, not under Slot, under Klopp. So let's talk about, obviously, Arne Slot. What's his strategy going to be with Liverpool going forward? Because he knows how to rebuild. This was a tweet from back in April. Arne Slot took over Feyenoord in 21-22, where the starting lineup from the previous season had mostly left. He only had 2 starters in Koku and the goalkeeper Biljal. He helped build and nurture a team to finish 3rd in the league and then reach the Europa Conference League. And then the next season, he won the league. And he's someone that is known for, once he can bring a few signings in, doing amazing things at Feyenoord. But he also did well to get the best out of a depleted Feyenoord squad as well. So he's come into a Liverpool squad where he didn't have new signings, but he had good players. But he's also proven to get the best out of a depleted squad as well, which I think is where Liverpool have seemingly struck gold with Arne Slot. So we're going to talk about Liverpool's transfer plans in a second. But what do we know about Arne Slot? He gets the best out of his players. He has a proven track record in rebuilds and squad overhauls, and he's not had that at Liverpool yet. And when he does have that, he could get even better. You see the jump from Feyenoord going from 3rd to 1st when he was allowed his overhaul. He profiles his players effectively, maximising their strengths. Gakpo, he's using on the left-hand side. Diaz, he knows that he's a direct confidence player that likes to take people on. Ryan Gravenberch, he knows is a technical player that can be used in the first phase of build-up. He's doing a really good job there. He adapts his tactics at half-time and takes bold risks when necessary. He shares similarities with Klopp, which has helped him set up Liverpool so successfully. It's not been a massive difference. But as I said, going back to him adapting his tactics at Ipswich, first half was bad, adapted his tactics. Liverpool fantastic in the second half. He's adapted his tactics in 4 or 5 games for Liverpool this season, like Brighton, where Liverpool might have not had the best first half, but they've come out and looked phenomenal in the second half because he is willing to take risks. He can understand tactics and understand what the other manager is trying to do and figure out a solution to that. But then he's able to convey that to the Liverpool players so quickly so they can change things up, which I think is impressive as well. Areas Liverpool may need to address in January. Left back, I've gone with Kirkes, Davies, Robinson, Aït-Nouri and Loco. Some of them have been linked to Liverpool. Robinson's a safe bet because he can get up and down the flanks well, Premier League proven. Alphonso Davies, probably one of the better options, but looks Real Madrid bound. Kirkes is one you've been recently linked to. Impressive player. Need to see a bit more of him, see how he does this season. He's very young. Loco, a very good young player. Aït-Nouri does have some defensive liabilities, but going forward is a good player. DM Baliba doing very well at Brighton. I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool were looking at him. Ground coverage monster, good on the ball. Zubemendi, I think Liverpool still want him. Still is probably the second best option after Zubemendi in terms of being technically good, able to recycle the ball. Wharton, potentially. He's not had the best season at Palace, though. Frankie de Jong, potentially. Barcelona seems to always want to get rid of him. Varela, of course. Porto as well. Striker, I think Marmoush is probably who Liverpool are looking at. They might try and make a move for Gyökeres. I also think they could go for maybe a Cunha, João Pedro type forward, because apparently I read somewhere, was it Michael Edwards or Richard Hughes, didn't want Nunes, they wanted Nkunku, they wanted more of a false nine player, and that's what you'd get in João Pedro or Mateus Cunha. So maybe they look to go for more of a facilitator type player and who unlocks the wingers even more, or maybe they look to go for a goal scorer in Marmoush, who can also be a bit of a facilitator. His all-round play is good. I actually did a video on Omar Marmoush back in March and said he could be the bargain of the season at 25 million in summer 2024, and not one big club move for him. I always thought Tottenham were going to make a move for him because he could have been a really cheap option at striker. Now he's had a fantastic season. He's going to double in price, but I did speak about him back in March and suggested him actually for Liverpool back in March before he had this really good season where his price has gone up. Left centre-back, Murillo, Schlotterbeck, Lukabar, Hincapie. Some of them had the ability to play left-back. I think Murillo, really good at Forest. Schlotterbeck, potentially left-back, left centre-back, could be one to look at. And then the wing, I've gone with Gordon, but I don't think he's needed with, because he plays on the left with Diaz and Gakpo. So maybe Kudus, who plays on the right, or Semenyo, who's quite athletically good, that plays on the right, particularly if Salah's contract runs out as well. I think in January, they're most likely to look at midfield or left-back, depending on the injury front. In terms of Liverpool news and what to watch, it was said it's no secret that Mamouche will probably move to Liverpool in the summer, said journalist Marcel Reif, but they're saying the summer. Miros Kerkez is on the radar of Liverpool for now. There's no concrete talks just about the deal, just initial inquiries. And Liverpool are believed to be among sides monitoring Mohamed Kudus carefully as an 85 million release clause. And according to Fabrizio Romano, Liverpool are on a constant basis still monitoring Zubemendi. So Liverpool are 5 points clear. They're playing good. They're playing great stuff under Arne Slot. And they probably could have some investment in January to build upon what has been a strong start for Liverpool. And as we've seen from this, when it comes to investment into Arne Slot sides, he's ruthless. He knows what he's doing. And you can see from what he's done at Liverpool so far, the improvements in certain players, the way he changes his tactics at half-time. I hate to say this, but Arne Slot knows what he's doing. The Premier League, the other big teams have not been up to the standard, and Arne Slot's taken advantage of that. As much as I'm enjoying the City-Arsenal downfall, I need Chelsea to step up and do something crazy, because I do not want Liverpool winning the league as a Man United fan. Do not want them matching our titles. Anyway, guys, please hit the like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Thank you for watching. Bye.